So we're going to stay with the theme of myth busting, and I'm sure you heard this old Wall Street adage, sell in May and go away. Well, maybe not so fast, because according to Ryan Dietrich, if you'd have done that in this market, 9 of the last 10 years were up. So you would have missed out on making some cash. So maybe, just maybe this time you want to hang around. We'll bring in now Real Talk Capital CEO Rob Luna. Rob, you going away in May?
No, I'll be right here, Charles, and I think this might be one of those years, make it 10 out of 11, because there's some pretty good opportunities out there, and a lot of people just have some cash sitting on the sideline right now.
Yeah, and to that point, next week we get another big swath of earnings, and then that FOMC decision. It feels like we could really have some serious clarity. I mean, could that be the moment next week when we do get a real decisive move, maybe a breakout?
Yeah, I think so. And look, if you look at all the data points, inflation, we talked about really peaked, last year, third quarter. You're starting to see more layoffs coming out there. I think we've seen the worst of that. And it's given the Fed at least some cover now to reduce the language. I think it's probably going to see the last rate increase, but that's already been priced into the market. So that's what everyone's been waiting for, a little more clarity and uncertainty. Markets hate uncertainty. So now's the time, get your shopping list ready. And I think it's time for a lot of people who've been on the sidelines to start getting back into the market here.
I felt a little bit of that yesterday. As the session went on, It felt like, it was more, I won't say panic buying per se, but there were certainly some fence sitters who decided to put a toe or two in the water. Now, you say put the list together. I remember a couple of months ago, you shifted gears. You got more conservative. Your timing, by the way, has been fantastic. Staples are crushing it. In fact, they are outgrowing the growth stocks by a million miles. So is that the way you continue to go? I mean, is this sort of a paradigm shift? What's your priority when you sharpen your pencil now?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think people were, because of that uncertainty, Charles, were looking for safety. And so you look at some of the names, Pepsi, Chipotle, those have done really good, and I think for good reason. But if you look at forward valuations, meaning how much are you paying today? Are they too expensive? You got Chipotle up towards 44. Meta, which did really well yesterday, is only trading at 22 times earnings. And as much as I like that new chicken El Pastor at Chipotle, I think Meta's got some better growth ahead than Chipotle, Charles.
But I think it's an ironic, I missed a lot of the staples because of that reason. I mean, you knew that they were a safe haven, but I just thought they were extraordinarily expensive. And what's ironic, and another thing that I've always done, I've always been worried about top line growth at the expense of lower volumes. Every single one of those names had lower volumes, but they were able to have pricing power. But I agree with you. They're getting afraid to raise prices from here. So then before I let you go, what are you doing now? What are you looking at? Any fresh buys?
Yeah, well, look, if you want to kind of stay a little bit safer right now, I think there's 2 names that have pulled back quite a bit. Home Depot and Williams-Sonoma. You get a 3% dividend. You get them trading at the lower end of the range. And as housing's gotten tighter, people are either doing one of 2 things. They're remodeling, or they're looking for some of those fixer-uppers to get into something at a lower price. Those are 2 names. But look, if you watch the 60 Minutes like everyone is, AI is front of the list of everybody right now. If you're going to be investing for the next 5 to 10 years, you've got to start doing your research. I'm looking at a lot of smaller names, but NVIDIA, Amazon, those are going to be 2 huge winners. Amazon, you're getting a pullback today. I think those are names you can go into.
I know last time you were on, you also like Airbnb, and it's right at a major breakout point, too, so I'm watching that as well. Rob, always appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. You too, Charles.
All right, folks, I love hearing from you.